Hello and welcome to Transformation Now. Hi, I'm Rita, rocker, speaker, author, coach with SoaringHigher.rocks, and I'm so excited to be here with you again today. I'm going to be continuing on from the information in my book, Hope at the End of Your Rope, Steps to Rebuild Your Life. Has a lot of true stories in there and a lot of good information I'll start sharing. So right now I'm on chapter 10. And it's called Developing Your Value System. Okay, so what is a value system anyway? It's a hierarchy of values based on our choices. Okay, that has so much to do with it, our choices. So we set up our value system, what we think is valuable to us and the rest of the world. So values could be, I'm patient, I love people, I'm kind. It could be, I have to have control, I have to be self-serving, or a value that I want to keep on improving. So I can improve not only my life, but my family's lives and those around me. So value system is really what we set up, what we see is important or not. And so different values can also be set up by who we are as a person. You know, our temperament is how we're hardwired. It's kind of like our computer and our hardware in it. And then our personalities are more like software. It can be programmed. It can be changed accordingly for the good or the bad. And so obviously we're going to be talking about all the good ways to help change our value system if we need to, so that we pursue and achieve our goals, find the love we want, have the things that we want that are good, and also how they impact, again, our families, people at work, our relationships, everything. And so you think, well, what if someone is shy? All right, they probably, hopefully, would be respected, protected, but they could also be overrun, they could be manipulated, and so again, it's up to that person who's shy to set boundaries of what they will and won't accept, what's in their value system that is valuable to them versus no, stay away. Another one could be angry. You know, some people are just almost born to be angry, and so they're angry at everything. So they've set up a value system full of complaining, of criticizing, and being mad at the world, and that's the reputation that they can have because that's what they're valuing. I have a friend that I did things with off and on for several years, and then she would get very critical, very angry. We would release our friendship, and then I kept still being kind. Eventually, we would come back together. We would start doing things again. Well, this went on 4 times. And then finally, it was like, no, you were so angry and hateful and blame everybody for everything. And so her value system apparently was, I'm just going to be angry, and the more I do, the more I complain and criticize other people, that's going to make me look better in comparison to them. So obviously I will say hi if I see her, but that's no longer a friend, and she has lost just about every person that she hung around with that were friends because of that critical, unhappy nature. So again, that's part of her value system. In order to value myself, I have to make everybody else look bad. Okay, another one is, confidence. Confidence is part of your value system because if you value yourself enough to know that, hey, I'm good, I'm enough, I'm fine the way I am, I'm doing good things in my life, not only for me, but for other people. Because really, a lot of our purpose is to be there as a unit, a family, and help other people as well. So think about that. Confident but not haughty. There's a difference between being very haughty and self-fulfilling and being confident in who you are to get out there, to reach out there, to do the things that you love, to overcome the obstacles that are there, and draw the right kind of people to yourself. I was reading a testimony the other day, and I did actually have this lady on one time in the program, and I'm coming out with a new book, and she's definitely going to have a full chapter in there of all the unbelievable trials that she went through. And now she's successful, and she's helping other people. And I'm amazed. I am absolutely amazed by what all she's doing. But she still gives God all the glory, all the credit, for all the awful things that she went through. So stay tuned for that one. So again, people treat us the way we treat ourselves. And I've seen that so many times. Now, obviously, that's not everybody. If someone sees a hurting person and they have a good heart, they will treat this person well and kind instead of treating them like they're nothing and they're nobody and go away and you're worthless. So, but people oftentimes will do that. People who have a very low self-image quite often will give out the energy, because we give off energy of, I'm no good, I'm worthless, don't approach me, don't come near me, don't talk to me, and so they don't. And I've seen that even with one of my sisters. She's in heaven now, but I saw how she did that because she thought she was so unworthy that she would just, people wouldn't approach her, they didn't want to talk to her. And so think about that. But there is the law of attraction that you've seen over and over again in books and movies like The Secret and a whole bunch of others. But really, there is a law of attraction as far as sowing and reaping. If you sow corn, you're not going to get tomatoes. Okay? If you sow an oak tree, you're not going to get a bush. All right? So think about that. What are you sowing in your life? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it negative? Is it happy? Is it helpful? And so we bring into our life what's already been planted. So what we've been planting, the seeds that have been planted in our lives from when we were little, possibly from last year, 5 years ago, are often what we are reaping now, the seeds that we've sown. And so think about that, and what you have, where you are next year at this time, will depend on what kind of seeds you're sowing into your life right now and this day forward. And so know what a powerful impact that has on your future by what you're allowing into your life. If there's a lot of seeds that were sown in there that were negative, those are ones that have to be dug up and they have to be removed, just like real plants and the weeds. And so think about that, because we often place our personal worth on any one of the following 4 areas, but yet none of these categories should actually define our true value whatsoever. The first one is physically. Okay, how do you see yourself? How do you perceive yourself? Is it the real you? You know, I think, is this the real me? I know what's down inside. I know my capables and my abilities. But so many times I still fight that. Is that the real me? No. That's people, places, things that have not been beneficial, for instance. And so how we see ourselves physically will affect our life, our career, our relationships. Do I see myself as enough? Do I see myself as attractive, ugly, stupid? I mean, I know those things could come out in the physical aspect of what we're thinking about ourselves. Do I see myself as strong and confident, or maybe shy and withdrawn, or have the walls up because my arms are crossed all the time? So physically, there are so many parts of physics. How do you see yourself physically? All right, and if there's things that you see physically, many of those you can change. Now, certainly there's bone structures, there's things that have happened to our bodies, orthopedic issues, etc. There are things sometimes that we can't change physically, but so many times we can. Even health-wise, as far as losing weight, which I'm working on, and the diet so that we feel like we're energized instead of sluggish. So what do you see in yourself physically, and what would be good for you to change? All right, TV, magazines, all the influencers that are out in the world right now have caused a lot of people to maybe feel inferior. Look at them, they're gorgeous, they're hunky, they're doing all these successful things, and what am I doing? Okay, that is not the real value of physical. So we never want to compare ourselves. See the real you that's inside, because you are made in God's image, so you're pretty awesome. All right. The second one is, how do you believe other people see you? That is so important. If we feel like people see us, I know from personal experience, I'll back up, as far as fear of rejection, fear of failure, and fear of abandonment. So a lot of times in my life, I've been afraid to step out. I have no problem speaking in front of 500 people. That's no problem at all. But to step out and really get involved in certain things and in certain relationships, it's like, No, I'm afraid they'll reject me. They'll think that I'm a failure because I don't have this, I don't have that. So how do you feel other people see you? That's also a big part of it. And so people have their own set of judgments, but you have to know you're made in God's image. You're beautiful in His sight. And so ask God to show you how you are to see yourself through His eyes. And then I want you to ask God how you believe other people see you and, help you to see others through His eyes. Because He literally can give you a whole different view of how you look, who you are, and how other people are. And if they, look like they have everything, and so, well, gee, I can't hang around with them because I don't fit their statue. No, that's not true. Because God sees you as all important, all awesome, all beautiful, all intelligent, because you have His mind. And I've used that a lot and believe that a lot to come out of a lot of really deep, bad holes that I've been in my life. Okay, intellectually, all right, do I perform according to family, friends, and society's expectations? What word was missing out of there? Family, friends, societies. What about mine? Okay, do I perform according to my expectations of me? Sometimes we can be perfectionists and expectations can be too high because it's, I can't do this right, so I'm not good enough. I should be doing this and this and this, and I should be working, 20 hours a day. No. How do I perform? Perform. Hear that word, perform. How do I perform? That's not a very good word when we're thinking of who we are and our value and our worth, that we have to perform in order for other people to think we're pretty cool, we're smart, we're worthy of being around and having connections with. And so think about that. How do you perform intellectually? What are you thinking which causes you to do certain things or to allow certain things or to make certain choices? And so think about that a whole lot. Is if not, am I not good enough? So many people have that. I mean, so many people deep down inside feel like they are not good enough. I ran into a gal in a big reunion of Lighthouse Christian Coffee House a couple of years ago, and she had a little tattoo on her forearm, and it said, "I am my father's daughter." And I thought, you know what? I would almost be tempted to do that myself, to know our value and our worth and who and whose we really are. So think about that intellectually, and what are the things that you can do to learn and to grow? And I've said this over and over, but whether it's books, it's YouTube, whatever, you can learn anything. You just look it up. I know a guy who's making hundreds of thousands of dollars, and his mainly was on fly fishing, okay? Or one guy who's done the same thing because he was a pool developer outside, people's pools, and he developed a whole program of educating them to the point that he's just overrun with business because he had materials that he created to give to potential clients, and they were so impressed that they said, "Yep, you're the one I want." And so think about that intellectually. And no one has the right to determine who you are intellectually either. And say, "Oh, you're stupid, you're never going to amount to anything," because so many people have been told that, and then that's how they grow up. And so they take jobs that are so much less than what they're capable of because in their minds, they're not that smart, and that's not true. I also have known several people, mostly women, but some men as well, who had no college, and a couple that even quit high school. And they're extremely successful, but not only as far as the career that they wanted and the friends they wanted and the money, the house, all that they wanted, but every one of them, their intentions were also to impact other people's lives for the good. And so please think of that as well. Maybe it's a thing of like reading some good quality materials, whether it's books. Go to a bookstore sometime or a library. It's really cool just to kind of, delve into something, sit quietly, have your coffee, and let your brain go. And learn with all the distractions being gone that could be around you. Turn off the phone, literally, turn off the laptop, etc. So think about that. Associations to join. Very, very important. Learning new skills for an upgrade. You know, I've seen the word upgrade about 3 times recently. And that's a really good thought to think of. What can I do to upgrade? You know, when people upgrade a home, for instance, they maybe tear off some old wallpaper, they repaint, they redo things. We can do that too. We can do that with ourselves. So think about that. And the skills that you love that could be beneficial to other people. You have great math skills. You could help people who are really failing with their finances to learn how to manage their finances. People who are really sluggish, tired, they have low self-esteem, they just had a breakup in their relationship, and maybe they just need somebody to work with them, get them to go for walks, talk to them, exercise, work out with them, help them with habits that will help them to feel better about themselves. And when they do that, then they can draw more of the more positive things in life to them, because we all have God's mind, and so we have all the smarts we need. There's a scripture that I love. It says, the counselor, the Holy Spirit, who the Father has sent in Jesus' name, teaches us all things. So when I get a little confused or I need some wisdom or on something or to learn something, that's where I go, because he teaches us all things that we need to know. And I thought, nope, I don't have a master's degree in the world system, but I have a master's degree in him. And that can totally change your whole being. That can change your mind, your attitudes, and give you the strength and the pride, good pride, that you need to go forward. So also think about that. So think of a good skill that you have that you can work with other people on. And then financially is a huge one. It is for me, it always has been, and as well as a lot of people I know. And the lady that I just mentioned, she's working now in a financial industry, helping people get rid of a lot of debt and totally transform their lives from where they've been into a whole new life. So stay tuned again for that. But where's your value as far as a human's worth? Because a lot of times financially, people think, I don't have the money, or someone else thinks, well, you don't have the money, you're not driving a very nice car, therefore you're not worthy of my time. Well, then you don't want to be around those kind of people anyway. Those are people who, it's all about money, it's all about material goods, how big and beautiful is the house, the car, all of that stuff. How expensive are your clothes? I like to go to consignment stores and get very nice clothes for very little money, but why not? You know, it's there. And then spend that money on other endeavors that could be beneficial to other people. So we cannot focus on success or anything by what we have financially. Finances, money, they don't determine your value and your worth one little bit. And so be very aware of that and think about that. Yes, we need to go forward. We need to work to get the things we need to achieve and provide for others. However, finances are not the be-all, end-all to who you are and your value. Because, as the Bible said, moth and rust will burn away. You know, when we go from this earth, what is our legacy? People who, it's only been about money and look at me, they don't have much of a legacy because it's all been for their benefit and nobody else's. And then the fourth one is socially. Am I successful with a lot of positive, supportive friends? As I've said a few times, pray for new friends when you need some. Ones that are supportive, ones that are caring, ones that have the same value system, the same mindset as you do. And so think about that. When I've changed my life a few times and things came along, life had to change, it's always, please, Father, I need new friends who are kind, who love you, who are caring, who are there for you, that we can be a family, because I don't have hardly any family left. That we can be there for each other as a family. You can pray that and you will see it. So do I fit in with the in crowd? Oh my goodness. How many people, and I'm sure probably everyone, junior high and high school especially, there was always an in crowd. A lot of times out in the business world, you see people who are, or celebrities who are in the in crowd. And so if we aren't in the in crowd, it's like, oh gosh, well, I'm kind of unworthy. I'm not as good as all these people. I'd love to be over there in that in crowd, but I'm not, and I don't think I can get there. You know what? You don't want to be into that kind of in crowd if that's not who you are. And you think of people who have like, I don't know, a few thousand followers on social media, but if something happened to that person, they couldn't be an influencer anymore, maybe they had a terrible accident, something happened, how many followers would there be then? Maybe none, or only a few who had good hearts. So, you never want to think about the in crowd, but rather, who is there for you? Who has my back if I need it? I have found out a lot in the past year, once again, who those people are that are in my in crowd. The ones where we can be there for each other, have each other's backs. That's what you want for your in crowd. And so think about that. And they will respect us no matter what society deems is really cool, really awesome. You got to be like this or else you're nothing. Well, baloney on that one. So what is your definition of success? Again, a lot of it's money, this, that, everything else. What is your definition of success? It might be achieving that goal to be the best coach where kids love you and they always come to you even though they have other people they could talk to. Success could be, yes, getting that new car. Success could be having the relationship of your life that you've always wanted but never really knew how to bring into existence before. Success is not all about money and being a big shot with a big job. Success is what your passion, your purpose is, and that you are achieving that, regardless of anything else, because again, you have to wear your glasses, see through your glasses, not someone else's glasses that could be foggy, distorted. If you put on somebody else's glasses and they're so far away from your prescription, whoa, you can't see, or you're dizzy, or half blind, or whatever the case may be. Your glasses, not theirs. And that happens a lot with parents and different ones that they want a child to live vicariously. They want to live vicariously through a child's success in sports. Maybe the kid can't stand sports, but they're a techie nerd, which is wonderful, and they like to create things, or guys where the guy was a ballet dancer and the father wanted him to be, like football or something, and yet the athletics, the exercise, the build, everything for a ballet dancer was unbelievable. Just astounding. So there's a lot of strength. This gentleman picked up his strength in what he did. Very active, very strong, very capable. And so again, it's not up to someone else to judge and to tell us who to be and how to be successful. It's up to you. So think about that again. Who's going to be there for me? Who isn't? Who do I want in my corner or not? So in the physical sense, the word tells us that we are made in the image of God, and we are fearfully and wonderfully made. So I thought, fearfully, usually when you say that, it's something negative, it's scary, it's fearful. And yet this type of definition that is meant there is intricately and carefully made, okay? So we are intricately, carefully made, wonderfully made by God, made in his image. So, and he may choose for some of the things that we want to take longer than we want. It's like, darn it, I want this right now. I want this person right now. Or I want to move to this city right now. What are those kinds of things, okay? But sometimes there's behind the scene activities that have to be accomplished first. That could be you need another class to get some education for some things that you're going to run into, or that will help you to succeed in your new job in a new city, etc. Okay, it could be that he's working on another person that's not quite ready yet. So you have to be patient, grow yourself. Don't worry about growing someone else. Grow yourself in the meantime. My best friend in the world that I've known for like 40 years, when she was widowed and she lived in Omaha, and we were just like sisters. And then one day she just felt she needed to move back down to the Kansas City area where her daughter had moved. And I knew I was going to miss her terribly. We didn't want to do that. But it was because she made that move that she later found the husband that she's married to now, has been for several years, and they have a wonderful relationship. If she had stayed here, she never would have met the person that God had for her, who was somewhere else in Olathe, Kansas City area. And so sometimes we just have to be patient, keep doing what we need to do to grow, and then let God bring it about in His timing when everything's ripe and it's ready for you. Okay, so think about that no matter what it is. And wait to go forward. So lastly, if you need new friends, again, pray for it. If you need something new, specify it. No, please, God, give me a bicycle. No, what do you want? What color do you want? What do you have? Same with a car. What do you want? Specify exactly what you want. And that way you can work towards that goal and have that miracle a lot of time. So always think about those things. Be very specific, very careful, and go forward. Okay? So thank you so much. I look forward to continuing this program next time. God bless.